Episode 9 is set to end the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people are really interested in when it comes to this movie is, of course, exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to use this as a way to end the Skywalker saga and how it's going to compare to both The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens in the current trilogy. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with new details of the First Order weapon that's actually created by Supreme Leader Ren. Specifically, a description of Kylo Ren standing in front of a large window witnessing a space battle in the distance. It's described that he is viewing his new weapon activating. It's described that there are 2 of them, where each one of them split into 3, creating 6 super weapons aimed down at a planet. They are described to be the First Order Annihilators. It's said that they have 3 different functions, one of which is it's able to lift up parts of the surface of a planet, causing massive destruction. Another is a function that creates a blast of heat on a specific target to wipe out any life without destroying the surface area. Lastly, a blast that creates a massive shockwave that's similar to the test blast of the Death Star in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. Additionally, it's said that these weapons are capable of disabling shields of incoming enemy ships, leaving them vulnerable from TIE fighters and other starfighters attacking them. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this and as to why I believe hands down that this most definitely is Disney and Lucasfilm's version of the World Devastators from the EU. Now, in the expanded universe, also known now as Legends, of course, Legends is a very big part of the Star Wars franchise that was written over by Disney. Now, one of the big things by, of course, Emperor Palpatine were these group of super weapons called the World Devastators. Now, if you actually look at the title, or should I say the name of these new weapons by Kylo Ren that he is actually commanded and is able to use in this movie, are actually dubbed as the First Order Annihilators. Now, honestly, guys, I gotta say, I like the sound of it. It's pretty close to how the World Devastators roll off your tongue. World Devastators, First Order Annihilators, it kinda is the same thing in a sense of what they are actually able to do. Now this one actually has 3 different functions, one of which is the ability to create a blast of heat on a specific target that wipes out all life surrounding it without destroying the surface of the planet. The other of which is able to lift up parts of the surface of a planet, and the other of which is to create a massive shockwave that's similar to the test blast of the Death Star in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. Not only that, alright, these pair of weapons are able to use the ability of, disabling any kind of shields against enemy starships incoming. So what I like about this, alright, is that it's described that Kylo Ren is looking out a window to a space battle in the distance, where there's 2 of them that split into 3 of each one, creating 6 whole super weapons shooting down on the green world that we have been hearing about for so very long now. Now, if you think about it this way, in the EU, the World Devastators were somewhat similar in a sense, yet different. The way, they were able to do things in the EU, it's somewhat similar to what we are hearing right now for Episode 9. So Kylo Ren's new weapon in this movie, alright, they're called the First Order Annihilators, or just the First Order Annihilator, that are able to split up into different ones and are able to cycle around a specific planet, destroying certain parts of it. And of course, this seems to be a way of maintaining the planet without destroying it, which honestly does make sense, because if you think about it, the First Order at this point in time probably wants to have as many planets ruled in the galaxy as possible without just destroying them one by one. Kind of like what happened with the Hosnian system in Star Wars: The Force Awakens, which was, of course, the center of the Republic. So when we think about Episode 9, a lot of people have always been asking for either no super weapons in this movie, or super weapons that are going to be completely different than we have ever seen before in the Star Wars franchise, at least on film, right? And I think that this is really up there. To this day, we have only seen weapons that are in the form of a spear, right? In the original trilogy, we got 2 Death Stars. In even The Phantom Menace, we got somewhat of a spear. you know, with that little cycle around it. It almost looked like Saturn. And then if you go into The Force Awakens, we had Starkiller Base. So now a lot of people are just a little on edge on whether or not J.J. Abrams was going to bring back like a Death Star 3 or something like that. That doesn't seem to be the case, thankfully. It's going to be something rather unique and something based off of Legends material, which the First Order Annihilators, I gotta say, I believe are pretty much deeply inspired by the World Devastators in the EU. Like I say, they kind of sound the same, they kind of look the same from what we have been hearing for so very long now. Very boxy and square in design, with 4 large engines on each and every one of them, except these are able to actually carry out in 3s, and split into 3s on command by Kylo Ren and the First Order. So what I like about this is that this is going to create quite something different in the actual space battle, is that these super weapons are able to disable any kind of shields for incoming enemy starships or resistance cruisers or whatever have you, in order to really have the First Order have the upper hand against the resistance in the space battle in the 3rd act of the movie. Anyways guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.